Hello everyone, welcome to the Corner Library. Welcome to on this beautiful, beautiful day. I've sat us here in the corner of the kitchen because the sun is streaming through the windows and it's absolutely divine. It's like a spring day. Even though we are in the middle of winter, it is like a spring day, which is lovely. And I'm not complaining much, but it is a bit of a concern, isn't it, in the middle of winter to have all this sunshine. And although we have had rain, we still have not had our usual quota for the year. So it is a bit of a worry. But anyway, we've had a busy week this week, everyone. I went to Melbourne again, not on Thursday, but on Friday this time, to take Mark's shoes into Melbourne to have them toe cap added to the toe so that they last longer. And of course I took advantage and went into some bookshops and walked around, really admiring a lot of the buildings that I hadn't taken note of before. Usually when Mark and I walk around, although I was on my own, usually when we walk around or when I walk around on my own, I do look up a lot and have a look at the buildings. But there were some areas of Melbourne that I needed to walk through and I hadn't been there in a long, long time, and just noticed some of the beautiful buildings. So the architecture is just absolutely stunning. Oh, thank you, Flynn. Thank you for that. And so what I've done, I did go into a few bookshops, but we have been there before. I went to Dimmock's and the Paperback Bookshop, and I went into the Hill of Content, or Content, depending on how you would like to pronounce it. So we've been there before, and I was a little reluctant to film inside them, only because there were a lot of people, and we have been there before. So this time, at the end of this video, you'll notice I've just taken a few seconds of footage to show, oh, Rooney, be very careful of the camera. Rooney's walking around here. They're sitting in the sun, but he has decided to walk around the camera tripod, and I'm worried he's going to move it. Yeah, so just at the end of this, there's just a little bit of footage for you just to show some of the buildings. As I say, I didn't think it, apart from the fact that they were really, really busy, the bookshops were really busy, and I'm very careful not to take real close-up photos of people or footage of people. But also we've been there before, so I thought I'd just take I took a little bit of the train ride as well. Okay, everyone, what else have I done? That's it, I think. So let's get into this. There's just a few today. I thought you'd be interested. I don't know if any of you have read Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. It's, Rooney, be really careful, babe. What are you doing? This is probably my second favourite. I really do love Mrs. Dalloway, and this would be another of Virginia Woolf's that I really enjoy. This is To the Lighthouse. This is Page Publications and is only around about 200 pages, I think. Yeah, about 200 pages. It is... I'm not a fan of all of Virginia Woolf's work. Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse are probably the only ones that I really enjoy of hers. This is about family relationships, art, and yeah, really focusing on the family relationships, I think, to be honest. It's beautiful. It is, as I say, it's my second favourite to Mrs. Dalloway, but it's definitely, Rooney, please, sorry everyone, please be careful of the camera. Watch out. Oh, honestly. It's like children, everyone. As soon as you start talking on the phone or talking to the camera, they can begin playing up. Yeah, so this is, as Mrs. Dalloway, with Mrs. Dalloway, it's beautifully written. It's very atmospheric, and yeah, it's lovely. I enjoyed it. So if you haven't, I would strongly suggest you read it. It may be your favourite. I know a number of people feel that this is their favourite out of Virginia Woolf's, but I have to say Mrs. Dalloway is mine, and then this comes in at a very good second. But probably a lot of her other works I'm not a big fan of. This is absolutely beautiful. And again, with those relationships, it's a little bit like the sliding door moments that can change your life. So beautiful. And considering we celebrated earlier her Mrs. Dalloway, the publication of that in June, I thought it was pertinent to show you this one. I recommend this one. Really good. Now, another one that I've read quite some time ago is Vera by Carol Edgarian. This is Simon and Schuster, and I think from memory it was about 300 pages. Yeah, about 310 pages. We are in early 1900s San Francisco, and we meet Vera and her sister Pi. So it must have been about, when was the San Francisco earthquake, the really big one? It must have been about 1905, 1906, I think, was it? We begin there, and this is about class distinction and, from memory, justice, and also sorry everyone, I'm really concentrating on Rooney because he's going to move the camera in a minute, and it's also about not only class distinction but gender distinction as well. I recommend this. It's really well written, and let me see if I can find a little bit about the author. Let me have a look. Let me have a look on the back maybe. Oh yes, so she is the author of 3 Stages of Amazement and her international bestseller Rise the Euphrates. So she's won a number of awards and is the co-founder of Narrative, which is a non-profit digital publisher of fiction, poetry and art, and of Narrative in the Schools, which provides free libraries and writing resources to teachers and students around the world. And she lives in San Francisco. I recommend this. I think, you won't be disappointed. It is well written, and it has, as I say, those obviously in the early 1900s, and I'm fairly sure it's the 1906 was the San Francisco, the really famous big earthquake, wasn't it? Around about 1906. So we begin there, and our characters are caught up, obviously, in San Francisco in the earthquake. So I recommend that one. Now, another thing I did the other day, I have been collecting Agatha Christie's Sinister Spring and Autumn Chills. There are 2 more in this series. This one I bought the other day is Midwinter Murder, and there is another one for summer. So there's the 4 in the series. I can't remember what the 4th one is for summer, so I'll just put that in the subtitles below. But I really wanted these because these are a collection of Agatha Christie's novels or short stories. Some of them I actually haven't read before, and usually set in, so in this case, in spring or at the end of spring or the beginning of spring or in the middle of spring. So this one has, for instance, the stories, The Market Basing Mystery, The Case of the Missing Lady, The Herb of Death, How Does Your Garden Grow, Swan Song, Miss Marple Tells a Story, Have You Got Everything You Want, The Jewel Robbery at the Grand Metropolitan, Ingots of Gold, The Soul of the Croupier, The Girl in the Train, and Greenshaw's Folly. So some of them I have read, some of them I haven't, strange enough, unless they've been published under another title. And Autumn Chills, same again. We have Murder in the Mews, The Case of the Rich Woman, While the Light Lasts, Triangle at Rhodes, Death by Drowning, The Bird with a Broken Wing, The Le Messier Inheritance, The House of Lurking Death, Tape Measure Murder, The Voice in the Dark, 4 and 20 Blackbirds, The Witness for the Prosecution. Of course, again, some of them we've read, they're really famous, but others I haven't. And this one I bought the other day is Midwinter Murder. I mean, look at the beautiful, actually I should show you the end papers. This is by Harper Collins, by the way. Oh, that's just the bookshop. So this is the autumn one. And look at the gold foil on the autumn tree there. I mean, that is just beautiful. And then in Sinister Spring, we have Spring Flowers. Again, the beautiful gold foil on the trees. So they're all the same house, all the same mansion, but in different seasons. So we go to Midwinter Murder, which has the beautiful snowflakes. And this one is the chocolate box. This has the chocolate box, Christmas Tragedy, The Coming of Mr. Quinn, The Mystery of the Baghdad Chest, The Clergyman's Daughter, The Plymouth Express, Problem at Polensa Bay, Sanctuary, The Mystery of Hunter's Lodge, The World's End, The Manhood of Edward Robinson, and Christmas Adventure. So one, you know that I don't usually read in any specific at any specific time for any particular novel. I don't always read novels that are set in spring for the spring. I think if a novel is good enough, it will, no matter what time of year you're reading it, it will transport you there anyway. And what's nicer than perhaps we're in the middle of winter being transported to a lovely beach location. So I don't normally do that except at Christmas. I do love Christmas tales, and I know the English tales are set in winter at Christmas, but I'm more than happy to do that. I just love the fact that they're set in that Christmas period. So that's the one I bought the other day, and they're, as I say, they are in the set, and I'm hoping to get the summer one in that series as well. Now, one that I really do want to talk to you about, I bought this the other day. You may or may not have heard of this author. This is Jason Allen Pesant, The Possibility of Tenderness. Now, Jason is a Jamaican-born British, his family, or he emigrated to Britain in, the 90s, I think. This is his memoir. It takes us from Jamaica and through to England. He also studied at Oxford and is now I think he's an associate professor at Manchester University. He has written 2 other novels for which he has had great acclaim, and I think he's won a couple of awards from memory. But this is, I haven't read all of it. I've read a good bit of it. I only bought it the other day, but the words are so beautiful, and the connection with words and connection with nature, and also the construct of this is just absolutely beautiful. Rooney, please be careful. Sorry, everyone. He's going to be shaking this camera. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, I've marked a bit here. I just want to read this to you. This, by the way, has photos of his family throughout it. Not heavily so, and it is throughout the memoir rather than in any. Normally you'll have a section in the middle where there are photos, but these are just black and whites. There's not quite a few, but there are a few through here, and now I can't find them. Anyway, there's one of his great-great-grandmother. So I just wanted to read you this passage just so that you get a sense of his writing. It is just absolutely beautiful, and it's so light and simple, and yet it has this amazing impact on the reader. It's just beautiful. Anyway, I'll just read this to you. Shame is a silent emotion. The sound of shame is silence. Shame stills the fluency of speech and of laughter. Yet Mama protected me. Only now do I understand the silence. I had always known that my silence was more complex than bucolic. It was not the silence of the heath and the moors which I discovered in the novels of Thomas Hardy. There was always something more complex below its surface. I was protected, yet my protection came at some cost I didn't know about, that I didn't have to know about, because by the time I came around, my grandmother had resolved to make the most of being alone. I'm grateful for my silent, green childhood, protected by both Mama and the bush. So this is really about, this is his memoir, and it's about his journey from Jamaica to England, but it is about his exploration of life through nature and his exploration of nature. It's absolutely just beautiful. It is so beautifully written and is quite... Even though he's his own writer and he is obviously a beautiful writer, and before I go on, I just wanted to mention that even though he's a Jamaican-born British, even though it is about nature in Jamaica and in Britain, this translates to anywhere. Nature translates to anywhere, even though the flora is different and it has a different climate. Whenever I read novels or memoirs about nature from around the world, and generally it is from England because my heritage is England, it's English, but, and so I have a natural affinity with England, but it really does, the tales of nature resonates throughout the world. So it doesn't matter that you're reading an English novel, it's that you're taking away what nature means to the individual. And that's why I recommend these memoirs and novels to you, because it's not just about Australian flora and fauna. These are, no matter what you read about nature, it translates across the world. And I think there is a softness to... It's the best way I can describe it, but there is a delicacy and a softness to the British countryside. Not that nature is always delicate and soft, I'm not saying that, but there is a delicacy and a gentleness about those who write about the British, the English or the British countryside, even though it has its own roughness and its own masculinity, I guess, in a way, but there is also that really, it still has, as rugged as it can be in the Scottish Highlands, there is still that really gentle beauty. Anyway, as I say, I do recommend this, even if you're in Australia and you think you're only interested in Australian native flora and fauna. I still recommend these novels, and this one particularly is absolutely beautiful. And of course, he is not native to England, to Britain. So it's interesting to see how he views the nature. And as I say, you'll probably won't be surprised to know that just nature translates from one country to another anyway. I recommend this. Now, this one is Hutchinson. And it's this year's, I think. I'm fairly sure it is 2025. Yes, correct, 2025. It's Penguin Random House, but it's Hutchinson Heinemann as part of the Penguin Random House group. And all up, we are about 230 odd pages. It's absolutely beautiful, and I do recommend it. And the cover is stunning, I think. Hardback, you know I love the hard covers. So along with that, whilst we're on the subject of nature, I have recommended these before, and I'll just go through them very quickly. This is John Lister Kay. I've left my bookmark at the beginning there. This is John Lister Kay's Footprints in the Woods. I recently purchased this one. I have wanted this one for a while, but have only just been able to find it. This is the Dun Cow Rib, A Very Natural Childhood, John Lister Kay and John Lister Kay there. So this is reminiscent of these. And I showed you some time ago Michael Morpurgo's Spring. And of course, he is also a renowned writer of nature. And then we have John Lewis Stemple. I bought this quite some time ago. I have a number of his, but these are just examples. Beautiful nature writer. Robert Macfarlane, The Old Ways, and more recently, I do have a few of his, and more recently, Is a River Alive? I recommend these absolutely wholeheartedly. And another one that's probably not as well known, but is certainly beautifully written, although it is in a more diarised form. And this is Roger Deacon's Notes from Walnut Tree Farm. Now, these all have to do with nature, conservation, and how we really originally and ultimately are entwined in nature. No matter how much we want to consume and how much we want to manufacture, and how much we want to really sort of take advantage of the earth, ultimately we are entwined in it, and whatever we do impacts on the flora and the fauna in our own countries, wherever that is around the world. And we are making a huge, more often than not, negative impact on our natural world. But these people are all very much lovers of nature, appreciate nature, realise how entwined we are in nature, in for conservation, and to work in not just conservation, but as a human, if we're wanting to have a farm or progress in terms of industrialisation, then we need to learn how to work with nature rather than against it. But these are all beautiful, beautiful either memoirs or books on how we can best work in with nature and how also it affects our life. Not just that we affect it, it's about how by interacting with it, how we can get back to nature and how it can make us feel and how it can make us more, I guess, this may sound a little sappy, but more complete as a human, as the raw human beings that we are. It's just beautiful. These are really lovely. So I do recommend all of those. Before anybody crashes the camera, everyone, I am going to let you go. I'm not sure how long this will be. I think it's a short one today, but I just wanted to bring those to you. I think it's really, I think they're all, well, any book that I recommend and really recommend to you that I have read, particularly off my own bat, I'm recommending with genuine recommendation because, oh, hello, Flynn, because they have either in some way impacted, whether it's that they've made an impact on my life or whether I have just jolly well enjoyed them and they've transported me to another location or to another period in our history. Thanks, Flynn. Then I have really enjoyed them, and I wanted to present all of those to you today because they're all really beautifully written, beautifully presented and constructed, either memoirs or novels. And of course, Agatha Christie is just one of the most famous writers of crime writers, and her two most famous detectives, of course, Poirot and Miss Marple. And of course we have Tuppence and Tommy as well in some of those stories. So that's it, everyone. I'm hoping to enjoy the rest of the day outside. I think I have some writing of my own to do, and I may do that outside. I will definitely take the boys with me if I can arouse them from their slumber. They are sitting here in the sun, and Flynn will probably be sitting by the fire after he has jumped from my lap. So there's all fluff and hair and everything floating everywhere. You can probably see it through the camera, so sorry everyone, but that's just the way it goes. And I think the sunlight highlights it too. Have you ever noticed that? It highlights the dust. Flynn, oh my goodness. It highlights the dust where you've just dusted. So I try not to get too caught up in the horrors of that. But anyway, I'm hoping you're all well. I do want to thank you all for subscribing. Those of you who have subscribed, thank you all so much, and it's lovely to hear from you. One thing, I have been rather slow in responding to comments and contacts on Australian book travels, and some comments on this channel I have also been a little slow. I do apologise, only because it's only happened because I have been super busy. And I think too, because it's winter, normally in the summer I get up really early. I get up really early throughout the year, anywhere between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And in the summer, I always attend to my emails and comments on the channel at that time. But because it's winter and the room where the computer is really cold, I tend to just sit by the fire when I wake up in the morning, and then of course I get on with my day, and I'm just too busy then, and I forget to respond to all the comments. So I do apologise. I will get to them hopefully soon. But look, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. It's just a push of a button or a press of the button on your remote to like and share and subscribe. It's for free, and eventually it does help the channel. So thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here, and I hope that those novels or memoirs inspire you in some way. I will see you next week. I have a lot to do this next coming week, so I will catch up with you next. Today's Sunday, by the way, so I'm uploading this for Monday for you, and I will see you next Monday, although for me it will be Sunday. Okay everyone, take care. Happy reading too. Bye for now.